talked about his concern with the free throw battle. And Xavier's fantastic at getting to the line. They're second in the nation in free throws made. That's going to be a huge component to watch out for tonight.
A great crowd on hand, as always, here at Hinkle Fieldhouse. I love this place. Tom Eads, Mike Eads, Doug Shows are the officials for this one. Butler in white, Xavier in black. Karam Cantor will jump center against Tyler Weidman. And the tip is controlled by the Bulldogs. Aaron Thompson will run the point here for Butler. Kamar Baldwin picked up by Quentin Gooden. Here's a matchup right there. Marshall against Keelan Martin. Martin for three. Comes up short, wide in the offensive rebound, able to put it in.
Sometimes the hardest shots to rebound are air balls defensively, and Weidman right place, right time. He's been playing great. Easy one for the Bulldogs. Get things started.
A couple of games ago had 23, a career high against Marquette. Here's J.P. McCura. McCura will step through, able to put it in, and J.P. McCura had just 4 field goal attempts Saturday in the overtime victory against Georgetown. And he puts in his first field goal attempt here.
Yeah, McCura loves situations like this on the road. Student section booing him already. It's a good sight for Chris Mack to see McCura get involved early.
Weidman against Cantor. Jump hook. Has some contact. Gets the roll. And you can see Chris Mack over there just waves the hand like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, Weidman's been playing well as of late. Leads the Big East Conference in field goal percentage. Already 2 for 2.
Cantor now against Weidman on the other end. Little jump hook with that left hand, puts it in. Karam Cantor, a very patient offensive player.
Now, one of the predicaments for Butler is, what are you going to do with the post? You're going to play single coverage, you're going to come with a double team. In a perfect world, you want to play one-on-one, but Cantor and O'Mara and those guys are really efficient scorers in the post.
Keelan Martin, nice play, gets it down to Weidman, and Weidman gets fouled against Trevon Bluiett. That'll be his first.
On the Musketeers spot, Trevon Bluiett, his first.
Chris Mack in his 9th year as the head coach, now the all-time winningest coach at Xavier, 207 career victories.
Coach Mack had his game face on at shoot-around, didn't he? You could feel the intensity, understanding how important this game is.
Jorgensen. Screen set by Weidman. Shot clock down to 7. Thompson, kick out to the corner. Baldwin for 3. Got it. How about Kamar Baldwin in conference play? Shooting it at 41.5% from three-point land.
I think the emergence of Aaron Thompson has allowed Kamar Baldwin to be comfortable playing off the ball. That's where he's at his best.
The 3 by McCura, no. Bluiett, the putback is short, and Keelan Martin with the rebound. Keelan Martin all the way to the hoop. Nobody stops ball. He puts it in.
Xavier's not great defensively in transition because they crash the offensive glass. So oftentimes the opposition has numbers. But if Butler can rebound defensively, I think they're going to have opportunities in the open floor just like that one.
5-point lead. Cantor against Weidman. Off the glass, puts it in. He's got 4 of the 6 for Xavier.
So Weidman's got to have better discipline, Justin. Don't bite on that shot fake. You'd rather have Cantor taking a 15-footer than something right at the rim.
Cantor had 0 points in the first meeting. Baldwin. Lost it out of bounds. Turnover here for Butler. LaVall Jordan in his first year here as the head coach at his alma mater. He's done a really nice job since taking over for Chris Holtman.
Yeah, Butler basketball feels like Butler basketball, even with the coaching change. And I've just been so impressed with the demeanor, the calm nature of how he is on a day-to-day basis. Practice, before the game, during the game. That stuff matters to your players.
Nate Fowler has checked in for the first time for the Bulldogs, number 51, replacing Weidman. Shot clock at 10 here for Bluiett. A switch. Thompson on him. Marshall, shot clock at 3. Najee Marshall able to get it off and put it in with a finger roll. There's a reason why the coaches are so high on this freshman. You can see at 6'8", able to put the ball on the floor and get to the hoop like that.
Scary versatility with that size. His most important role tonight is to guard Keelan Martin when he gets his opportunities.
Fowler comes out to set the screen. Baldwin, baseline jumper, off. Rebound here for Bluiett. Doesn't have numbers. Doesn't seem to care. Pulls up for 3. Got it. Doesn't take much space for him to get a shot off, and he gives Xavier the 2-point lead.
Such a quick release. He gets an inch, whether it's in transition, coming off the screen, it doesn't matter. He's letting it fly.
Fowler posting up against Cantor. Baldwin tried to slip the pass down low for Fowler, turns it over, second turnover for him. Marshall kick out, Bluiett 3 again, got it again. That was a point of emphasis for Butler, trying to limit the threes for Trevon Bluiett. And so far, back-to-back threes, and it's a 14-9 lead.
That's a great play from Najee Marshall, too. Understanding where the shooter was and finding it.
Jorgensen doesn't hit the 3, and now a foul against Butler. A 10-0 run by Xavier. Back-to-back threes by Trevon Bluiett.
Bluiett back in his hometown, putting on a show early. Good play from the freshman. Finding Bluiett with 6 early ones. Xavier up early.
It's Big Game Saturday on Fox. With a double dose of college hoops. First, top-ranked Villanova faces the Bulldogs. Then fifth-ranked Xavier brings the battle to the Blue Jays. It all starts at 11:30 Eastern on Fox.
The Big East Tournament at Madison Square Garden. Get tickets now.
This for the U.S. Open.
What a chip. Watch out for this one.
Better believe it.
What a way to win.
Expect anything different?
A 10-0 run by the Musketeers, now leading 14-9 over Butler. A couple of threes by Trevon Bluiett. He had a big 3 Saturday in the victory over Georgetown.
Yeah, Trevon Bluiett was fantastic. 31 points against Georgetown, and you don't score 2,000 points without all the tricks in your book, and he doesn't need much room to let it fly, whether it's a jab step, whether it's off a little pin-down screen, whether it's coming off and getting the 4-point play. And you know Trevon Bluiett's got range. He was fantastic. But you think about the end of the game, 86-82. This was the play. Quentin Gooden's penetration baseline is going to attract the attention of Bluiett's defender. Now the play is a little crackback screen from Tyreek Jones to get Trevon Bluiett the 3. So here comes the screen. Jones gets a piece of him. And then how about the leg kick out, Justin? He didn't need 3, he needed 4. So you kick out the leg. You get a 4-point play to extend the game into overtime, and they go on to win.
A little Reggie Miller-esque.
That's Reggie Miller. Kick the foot out camp right there. That's what that is.
This 3 does not go down for Bluiett. Here's Martin in transition. Thought about it. Leaves it off for Weidman, and Weidman gets fouled by Sean O'Mara, who has just checked in. And free throws coming up for Tyler Weidman.
Yeah, both teams will look to push it. I mean, both teams really want to find early offense in transition. So defensively, you have to sprint back and sort it out. In the first order of business, you obviously got to stop the ball, but you got to find Trevon Bluiett and you got to find Keelan Martin immediately.
Weidman, a 78.3% free throw shooter. As we see Kaiser Gates and Paul Scruggs check in for the first time, replacing Marshall and Gooden. But how about the free throw shooting here of Weidman? As a freshman, he was a 41.5% free throw shooter. Look at the improvement, almost doubling what he did in 4 years.
It's amazing, right? To overcome the demons of doubt. I mean, oftentimes it's just a matter of how comfortable and confident you are at the free throw line. And he's clearly put in the work. And that's important, especially as a big guy. You're going to get fouled a lot.
Bluiett finds O'Mara. Good slip and the dunk and the foul.
What offense. Chris Mack here. So a little pick and roll attracts Weidman, finds O'Mara, a little power dribble to the top floor. That's just really good. Bluiett attracting 2 defenders. No one on the help side. And O'Mara, who really hurt Butler in their first matchup, already making an impact.
And that foul was against Keelan Martin, his first. 6-point lead for Xavier. Thompson doesn't want to shoot from the outside. Martin against Gates. Baldwin with the right. Comes up short. Gates with a rebound.
Bluett's got a big size advantage on Jorgensen to be able to shoot over him. Butler's got some smaller guards. And so I think Bluiett would have a nice day shooting over the top of the Bulldog defenders.
Scruggs picks up the dribble. Bluett's asking for it. Shot clock down to 8. He steps back for 3. This time he misses, and a rebound for Weidman. Baldwin underneath Weidman. Facing a double team. Scruggs gets a hand on it, out of bounds, off of Weidman. Will be Xavier basketball. And here comes Henry Badley in to replace Aaron Thompson.
You got to like the activity from Xavier. They were hot on the ball, and then take another look at it. I don't know, Justin.
I think that's off of Xavier right there.
I don't know about that one.
A break maybe for the Musketeers. Makura. And this time Makura gets called for a travel. Chris Mack is saying no. His pivot foot stayed on the ground.
I think I'm with Chris Mack on this one. Good footwork from Makura. He's really good at that. Little step through, pivots right around the basket.
Baldwin. Badly finding Weidman. Weidman's been the offense really for Butler so far. Shot clock down to 10. Baldwin keeps that dribble alive. With the right, off the glass, doesn't get it to go, keeps it alive. Weidman goes flying, Badley has it, out to Baldwin for 3. And Scruggs with a rebound. And Weidman still on the floor. The whistle was blown. Xavier looked like they were on a break. And now Xavier's wondering why the whistle was blown.
In for the Bulldogs, 51, Nate Fowler.
Fowler's going to come in. And Butler has gone about 5 minutes without a field goal.
Look at Weidman underneath.
And 3 quick good.
Whipped down to the ground, just landed right on his back. Tell you what, it's a man's game in the paint tonight. I mean, Butler's a physical team. You know that's Xavier's identity, is to beat you up, bully you, intimidate you. Be interesting to see how the refs call this game, especially in the post.
O'Mara going at Fowler, who's checked in. Good job by Jorgensen coming down and stealing that ball away. Keelan Martin puts it on the floor. And that's deflected out of bounds. Will stay Butler basketball.
Butler basketball.
But Butler has not scored in over 5 minutes, and they trail by 6. Just under 12 to go. Let's go inside the huddle with LaVall Jordan and Butler. Just kidding. We're having some technical issues. We're going to keep it right here and talk about what's going on right now with Butler against Xavier, as they've gone cold from the floor over 5 minutes without a field goal.
Well, and what's happened is Xavier's stringed together some stops, so they've been able to get out in transition, and Bluiett got loose, got a few to go down in 2 triples. And that, it always kind of relaxes the role players when the star gets rolling. And I think right now, if I'm Butler, I think I'm dialing up some sort of slip screen with the 5-man. They're really hard hedging those ball screens, and that's disrupting the timing. Get some sort of slip and maybe get one early to the basket.
Sean McDermott, number 22, has checked in with Henry Badley. Here is the shot by Martin off the mark, and a rebound by Scruggs. Scruggs nearly traveled. Quentin Gooden is back in. Gooden tries to go baseline, gets cut off there by Fowler. O'Mara against Fowler. Shot clock at 10. Good footwork there by O'Mara. Gets great positioning down low. And it's an 8-point lead for the Musketeers.
And he's a really good scorer in the low post. And he gives them a nice pop off the bench because when he comes into the game, Chris Mack loves to get him touches.
He had 10.6 rebounds in that January 2nd victory over Butler. Badley for three. Off the back of the rim. Rebound chased down by Gates. The drought continues here for Butler.
Right back downtown.
Gates for three. Got it. Kaiser Gates, who's been struggling recently, 1 for 13 from three his last 3 games, hits one there. And it's an 11-point lead here for Xavier on the road. Baldwin able to keep the dribble alive, finds Badley. Extra pass, Martin for three, no. And this is saved by O'Mara. Gooden, and that's a blocking foul against Baldwin.
I mean, look at this pick and roll, and what the hard roll does is it attracts McDermott in a little bit. That's all you need, is just a half a step for Gates to be able to let it rip. But a hard roll from O'Mara, who's already scored a few, sucks in the weak side defense so Gates can get a triple to go down.
It's an 18-2 run over the last 7 minutes for the Musketeers to lead by 11. Kerem Kanter's back in, as is Najee Marshall. Kanter with the right, throws it up, was looking for the foul, gets it to go. A 20-2 run.
This is where Xavier's just so tough. They have so many different guys that can score, and in particular guys that can post up. Put so much pressure on you.
Fowler unable to handle that pass as it was near the rim. Another turnover. Bakura and Bluiett back in. And this is a stark contrast to what Butler has done the last 4 games, really.
Look at how Butler's come out and just sunk their teeth into teams defensively, and they've built leads and been able to play from ahead. Different story tonight. Very comfortable and confident start for Xavier.
Kanter again against Fowler. The running hook puts it in.
Justin, at this point, you got to start thinking about whether you're coming with a double team or a hard dig, just something to disrupt the rhythm of O'Mara and Kanter. This barbecue chicken down there in the post.
McDermott for three. Still can't buy a bucket. Marshall, he gets fouled by Jorgensen. That should be on the pass. It'll be the 4th team foul.
Foul is on the Bulldogs 5. Paul Jorgensen is first.
That's Jorgensen's first. Weidman's going to come back in. Remember, Weidman went down on that loose ball. So he's back in, gets an ovation from the fans. But it's a 15-point lead for Xavier on the road here at Hinkle Fieldhouse, a place where Butler's lost just once this year. And now a foul against Weidman as he pushes Kanter going through the paint.
Kanter was going to post up on that right block, and Weidman understanding that, knowing he has to beat Kanter over the top, so they don't call the first one, but then Kanter has to get physical with, or Weidman has to get physical with Kanter, and they call the foul.
I'll tell you what, if you're Butler, I mean, Kanter now for three, got it. I was going to say, you got to be careful because this game might get away from you quickly, and it's an 18-point deficit here with 9:10 to go, and Laval Jordan has no choice but to take a timeout. The run continues here for the Musketeers. (25-2) run over the last 8 minutes by the 5th-ranked Xavier Musketeers on the road against Butler. It stunned this crowd. I'm going to be honest, Nick, it stunned me.
No doubt. Xavier's been almost flawless here.
Martin for three, finally.
Keep keep in mind, Butler early in the year were some comeback kids. They raced an 18-point deficit at Georgetown, a 15-point deficit against Ohio State. It's been a while, but they can kind of think back to those moments and get some confidence.
Macura. And it's an offensive foul against Macura. Weidman was in there with position. And Macura picks up the foul. So can Butler gain some momentum? They just had a three, and now an offensive foul.
You see Weidman definitely was set. Macura tried to scoop around him. It's amazing what timeouts can do to momentum. You call a timeout, bang a three, get a charge.
McDermott underneath. Really nice play. Great execution there by the Bulldogs. A little 5-0 run here by Butler to make it a 13-point game. Cantor and Weidman battling. Weidman does have a foul already. Marshall against McDermott. McDermott slaps down on it. McDermott thought he hit it off of Marshall's leg. It's going to stay. Xavier ball with 8 minutes to go will lead us to a break. So a little 5-0 run by the Bulldogs after their timeout. And it's now 29-16 Xavier.
Fox with a double dose of college hoops. Featuring the best of the Big East. First, top-ranked Villanova with the take a bite out of the Bulldogs. Then, Trevon Bluiett and fifth-ranked Xavier bring the battle to the Blue Jays. Big game Saturday. It all starts at 11:30 Eastern on Fox.
13-point lead for the Musketeers here with 8 minutes to go in the first half. Butler finally got something going offensively in that last minute or so.
Always good to involve Keelan Martin, a scorer, into these screens because it puts his man Najee Marshall in a tough spot on whether he's going to help or stay attached to Keelan Martin. So here comes Keelan Martin on the screen, setting one for Sean McDermott. Wide open underneath. Najee Marshall already thinking about this screen and getting out here. But meanwhile, McDermott all by himself underneath the basket for the easy one. A great thing to do with scorers and shooters. Put them in screening situations. Put that defense in a tough spot.
The reason why Nick knows that was he was a scorer and a shooter.
I appreciate that, Justin. Yeah, that was nice.
Coach, really? I got to go screen again?
Come on, man. I got to screen? How about someone screens for my guy? Right?
Macura against Martin. He gets doubled. Able to get the ball back. 3 on the shot clock, and now an offensive foul against Macura, and that's his second. Both of his fouls have been offensive fouls, and Macura just got Macura.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got to be like looking in the mirror, right? How many times has Macura done that to guys? Get under their skin a little bit, and then a little bit of Hollywood. But Aaron Thompson's really good at that. He has a knack for taking charges. And now Macura with 2 personals. He can't get mad at that, right? I mean, he's done that his whole career.
He can get mad.
Yeah, you're right.
Weidman sets the screen here for Martin, who has been quiet. A foul away from the ball is going to go against Kaiser Gates. That'll be the 15th foul against Xavier. O'Mara's going to check back in.
It's a physical game, and I mean, they're really fighting guys in the post for position. And see Weidman coming down in the roll. Gates understanding that he's going to have to start to do his work early. Get tied up, get a foul.
Paul Jorgensen to inbound. Kamar Baldwin is back in. Baldwin and Martin are the 2 scorers for Butler usually.
Get Jorgensen going. He's that third piece that they really need to score, and when he's knocking down shots, it creates real estate for Martin and Baldwin.
Shot clock down to 5 here for Butler. Baldwin has to put it up. He does. Gets it off and puts it in.
Always important to be good late in the shot clock. And Gates right there, but a tough shot from Baldwin.
A 7-0 run here by Butler, and now a foul called against Baldwin.
Look at this little crossover, understanding the clock. Pretty good defense from Kaiser Gates. High contest.
That's just a better shot.
Yeah, good offense beats good defense every day of the week, and that's what happened there.
That's a second foul against Baldwin. He goes to the bench. Back in is Aaron Thompson, 16th foul. Deflected ball. Bluiett gets it back.
Right back in the post to O'Mara. He's had a ton of success.
Again, O'Mara using that pivot foot so well, able to step under and put it in.
And that's the thing with O'Mara. He's got an abundance of moves. You've seen an up and under, a step through. That's what good post scorers got to have. Can't be a one-trick pony down there.
He's got 7 points here in the first half. Weidman was wide open off the roll. Keelan Martin couldn't get him. Now Martin in rhythm, off the dribble, able to hit the jumper. 7 points now for Keelan Martin here in the first half. 11-point lead for the Musketeers. They led by as many as 18. Gooden against McDermott. Gooden. The fans thought he got away with a travel. Weidman gets the rebound. Thompson, a little hesitation, goes right at Gooden, but it's an offensive foul. That's the first against Thompson, the team's 7th. Badley comes back in for McDermott. Fowler comes back in for Weidman.
Well, it looked like Gooden was trying to beat him to the spot. Might have gotten that arm, that left arm extended a little bit. And sometimes it's just about perception's reality in the eyes of the officials. If it looks like a foul, they're going to blow the whistle.
O'Mara in the paint again, and he gets called for a travel this time. Going up against the taller Nate Fowler.
I've been impressed. LaVall Jordan staying the course. No double team in the post yet. Staying out, attached on the three-point line. Certainly an adjustment to keep an eye on as this game moves forward.
Jorgensen against Gates. Pulls up for 3. Short, and the rebound here for Gooden. Nice pass for Bluiett. Bluiett hanging. No. And now Keelan Martin. Martin takes the bump. He'll go to the free throw line.
See, Bluiett just did one of my pet peeves in basketball. You miss a shot, and you go corral the defensive rebounder, and then all you do is put your team in a predicament on the other end. If you miss a shot, you need to scream back, especially when you're dealing with a guy like that who's going to put his head down to try and get to the basket.
The foul's against Scruggs, his first. Martin at the free throw line, an 86% free throw shooter. Knocks down the first. How about this? Keelan Martin, Trevon Bluiett, AAU teammates.
Think they won a few in the AAU circuit?
Who was getting the shots?
Not whoever the third guard was, I'll tell you that much. Whoever was the point guard.
They got it to under 10.
Been impressive, the rally here from Butler.
Scruggs against Jorgensen. And a foul away from the ball going against Xavier, and this will go against Bluiett. And that's going to be number 2 against Bluiett. So Bluiett has 2, Macura has 2. Kamar Baldwin is coming back in with 2 fouls here for Butler. And it was funny because I was looking at the lineup out there, and you're wondering, where is the scoring going to come from? Because you had a guy in Thompson who doesn't look for a shot. You have a guy in Badley who doesn't look for a shot. And Fowler doesn't really look for a shot. So now you've got Baldwin back out there with Martin and Jorgensen.
You need guys that can make plays, attract attention from the defense.
And a carrying violation called here against Keelan Martin, trying to rock his man.
Trying to show his hot sauce there, didn't he?
That one doesn't get called very often. And now defense, offense, Thompson comes back in, replacing Baldwin.
But you read LaVall Jordan's lips there, said, don't force it, don't force it. And that's something that Keelan Martin's done a much better job of this year, not hunting for shots. But there have been a few moments tonight he's kind of been hunting a little bit.
O'Mara, good position again, and a foul's going to be called against Fowler. As he was trying to push O'Mara away from the hoop. That's a second against Fowler. And it's the 18th foul, so 1-on-1 for O'Mara, a very, very good free throw shooter. An 82% free throw shooter on the season. O'Mara 1 for 1 tonight. 7 points, perfect from the floor. And the jinx. There's no such thing as a jinx.
O'Mara doesn't care about that.
Baldwin back in.
Well, you wonder with McKeer and Bluiett saddled with 2 personal fouls sitting on the bench. I think that guy right there might be where you go with the ball offensively right now.
And a bit of a surprising move here as McKeer is off the bench, and now he'll go back 1 of 2 at the line for O'Mara. 10-point lead.
My guess is if McKeer would have came in, they probably would have gone with the 1-3-1 zone.
Jorgensen into the paint, leaves it off for Fowler, and Fowler's able to put it in. Nice find by Jorgensen.
You can tell Jorgensen wants to get involved offensively, but good display of patience to make the right basketball play and not force one up and find Fowler for the easy deuce.
Najee Marshall, Gooden, fakes the 3, keeps the dribble alive, gets fouled, puts it in, and the foul. Quentin Gooden able to put it in for his first bucket of the day. But Jorgensen draws the defenders, finds Fowler. And Butler trying to make a game of it. They trail by 10.
Time report, I'll be joined by Steve Lavin and Jim Jackson who'll tell you why Kareem Cantor has been the key to Xavier's start. Plus, can Cincinnati keep their 14-game winning streak alive against UCF? And it's an SEC showdown between Tennessee and Kentucky. You know we got the highlights for you, but right now, Justin and Nick, back to you.
Mike, thank you very much. It's a 10-point ball game here at Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. The Musketeers, 5th-ranked team in the country, leading Butler with 3:36 to go. And Quentin Gooden will be at the free throw line. Trevon Bluiett, J.P. McCura, both with 2 fouls. And if you're Xavier and you're thinking, our 2 stars have 2 fouls, they're on the bench, and we lead by 10, you're going to be thinking, feeling pretty good.
Well, and that's the key to, that's one of the reasons why Xavier's the 5th-ranked team in the country. They're not a team that depends on just one guy. They have a plethora of guys that can score the rock, especially down low. Cantor and O'Mara have been fantastic.
And Tyreek Jones is out with a shoulder injury, which he suffered yesterday in practice. McDermott is back in here for the Bulldogs. McDermott picks up the dribble, shot clock down to 10. McDermott for 3, got it. McDermott can hit the 3. Almost 44% from 3-point land. And it's an 8-point game with under 3 to go.
And Butler brings 2 sharpshooters off the bench, and Badley and McDermott. Now a little bit of zone from the Bulldogs.
Gates in the corner for 3. That's his second 3 of the half. A guy who came in so cold from 3-point land has hit 2 threes here in the half.
First possession against the zone, executed perfectly. Get it to the middle of the floor, then spray it out to Gates.
Baldwin, too much dribbling, lost it. Here comes Marshall. Marshall, great defense by Baldwin, hustling back to get the steal. In hockey, that'd be called a back check.
And it's not time to break out the around-the-back pass on the road at Butler.
Badley hanging. No whistle, but he gets it to go. Laval Jordan is telling Baldwin, hey, no more of this. Too much dribbling. Just pass the ball. That was great. That was like a dance move he just did.
But Baldwin can do that because what hustle to get back to take away the 2-on-1 for Xavier. He gets 2 points on the other end. Those are big swings.
Scruggs with the left puts it in. They went to go double Cantor. That left Scruggs open.
This is where Scruggs more comfortable when he's on the floor with Gooden. So Scruggs doesn't have to think about being a point guard. He can just think about doing what he does best. That, driving and scoring.
Here's McDermott. Shot clock at 10. Martin waiting for the screen. Shot clock at 3. Fowler has to put up a 3. And the rebound for Gooden. Coming up on a minute to go. 11-point lead here for the Musketeers on the road at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Gates first, third 3. No, and the rebound to McDermott. Baldwin gets fouled. He'll go to the free throw line as Karam Cantor reached in.
That's just really good for Baldwin. See how he could sense that Fowler was running near him, so he slowed up, let Fowler get past him, and then use him as almost like a de facto moving screen, then to get downhill to the basket. That's really good peripheral vision and feel in the open floor.
Baldwin is 74% free throw shooter, hits the first. Tyler Weidman will come back in, replacing Fowler. Weidman with 1 foul.
Well, once upon a time, this game looked like it was going to be all Xavier.
You mean a 25-2 run?
Yes. I think if you're Laval Jordan, you got to be pretty pleased with the fight your team showed just to get it to a 10-point deficit.
Gooden leaves it back for Cantor. Marshall, kick out to Cantor. Shot clock down to 10. Gooden against Weidman. Little crossover off the glass, no. And the rebound to Weidman. Butler can hold for the final shot. And they can get it to under 10, which would be a big-time accomplishment for what they went through earlier in the half. Baldwin, 5 on the clock. Baldwin, will they get a shot off? He does. Look with right hands, and he missed it.
He shot that with his right. That's amazing.
A 10-point lead for Xavier on the road at the half. It was a 25-2 run for the Musketeers over an 8-minute and 10-second span. They had a 15-0 run. The Bulldogs showed some fight, and they made it a 10-point game here at the half. After the break, we'll check in with Mike Hill. Good to see Steve Lavin back in studio and Jim Jackson for the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report. FS1 College Hoops is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Back here inside Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. A 10-point lead for the 5th-ranked Musketeers of Xavier over the Butler Bulldogs. Justin Kutcher alongside Nick Baugh. And Nick, that first half, Xavier went on that 25-2 run. What do you take away from the first half?
Well, that Butler's in a predicament in the post defensively with Cantor and O'Mara. They were a perfect 8 for 8 from the floor and did a fantastic job scoring in a variety of ways. Cantor, little left-hand jump hook to get things started. You look at O'Mara on the roll, hard to the rim for the finish. Cantor, a little sweeping left hook. He can score over either shoulder, and so can Sean O'Mara. How about the step through for Mr. O'Mara? That was really what was the difference in the game, because Bluiett and JP Makira didn't really do much, but those guys were fantastic.
Xavier shooting 67% from the floor, 5 of 8 from three-point land. The bench points outscoring Butler 16-9, but you mentioned Makira and Bluiett. They have combined for 8 total points, and you think about it. Those two guys have combined for 8, and yet they lead by 10.
Kind of scary, right? You think about how many weapons this Xavier team has. Everybody that played for Xavier scored. All 8 guys. And it's tough out there, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens now with Trevon Bluiett. He's going to have to put his fingerprints on this game. Aaron Thompson drawing the assignment early on.
Trevon Bluiett from here in Indianapolis, playing his final game in front of some friends and family in his hometown. Misses the 3 to open up the half. Here's Keelan Martin. Thompson left open for 3, will take it. Misses. Aaron Thompson now just 2 of 10 from three-point land, and a whistle here, and that's going to be a foul called against Tyler Weidman, his second, team's first of the second half.
Don't want any cheap, silly ones with Weidman. You're going to need all the fouls you can get trying to defend Cantor and O'Mara in the post.
Makira and Bluiett both picked up 2 fouls in the first half. The only guys with 2 fouls for Xavier. Bluiett picked up by Thompson, And now a foul called against Thompson. So a couple of quick fouls here against Butler. That's the second foul against Thompson.
That's a tough call as Thompson was just getting ready to load up to fight over the ball screen.
Bluiett gets the screen. Step back jumper. A miss. Keelan Martin with a rebound. Martin left open for three. Got it.
Yeah, mental error, right? Thompson only knocked down 2 threes all season. 2 guys run at Thompson. You leave Keelan Martin, buries it.
A mental error by a senior, and J.P. Macura makes it a 7-point ball game. 12 points now for Keelan Martin. Cantor, his jumper. He continues to be perfect. 6 for 6 from the floor. 13 points for Karam Cantor, the grad transfer from Wisconsin Green Bay.
What a find. Chris Mack. Or that grad transfer, well, did it with Rasheed Gaston last year down low. Karam Cantor, he's really starting to get more comfortable each and every game.
So Val Jordan faced him when he was at Milwaukee. He thought, oh, I don't have to face him anymore. Wrong. Paul Jorgensen with the finish.
That'll get Jorgensen rolling. He's got to put his fingerprints on this thing in the scoring column as well.
Cantor again, good position against Weidman. Faces a triple team, and he gets called for a travel.
I think Butler has to start doing some more digging and doubling, in particular off of maybe Najee Marshall and Quentin Gooden. 2 guys that aren't necessarily great three-point shooters, in particular Quentin Gooden.
Chris Mack was just barking at one of his seniors, J.P. Macura. Jorgensen turns the corner, kick out to the corner. Here's Keelan Martin, good ball fake, jump stop, off the glass, puts it in. Pretty move by Keelan Martin. 5-point ball game, and a timeout taken here by the Musketeers. The crowd is into it here at Hinkle Fieldhouse. This week, a new season of NASCAR kicks off. It all begins Sunday with Daytona 500 qualifying at noon Eastern on Fox. Then it's the Clash of Daytona on FS1, or stream it all live on Fox Sports Go. Here at Hinkle Fieldhouse, the Bulldogs have made it a 5-point game, 42-37 against Xavier. And as we go back to that play where it was a mental mistake by J.P. Macura.
Yeah, just keep your eye on J.P. Macura. You have Aaron Thompson here and Keelan Martin here. Aaron Thompson's knocked down 2 threes. Keelan Martin's knocked down 54 threes. So which one do you want to stay attached to? Macura jumps to the ball. He needs to stay attached to Keelan Martin. It's too late. Thompson right back to him, and Keelan Martin knocks down the 3. And it's those kind of mental errors that can get a score like Martin in a rhythm and roll.
And look at that, J.P. Macura is on the bench right now coming out of the timeout. Kaiser Gates is in. Cantor against Weidman, pretty move, and Karam Cantor is 7 of 7 from the floor. He's got 15 points. He had 0 in the first meeting.
He plays with great pace, under control. He's doing it all tonight.
Martin for 3. Got it. Keelan Martin is stepping his game up here in the second half and makes it a 4-point game. Poked away by Weidman. Here comes Martin. And Martin has it knocked out of bounds. Will stay Butler ball.
See, but Justin, that's where that mental error is kind of manifesting itself right now. Rhythm and confidence are huge for scores. And you just get one to go down, and all of a sudden, you feel pretty good about yourself, and Martin's kind of rolling.
And now a timeout taken here by Butler, unable to get the ball in. And LaVall Jordan realizing how important this possession is. A 4-point game, a chance to make it a 2, even a 1. Back after this. 4-point deficit for the Bulldogs here at home, where they are 12-1 on the season. And you see how much better they are here at home than they are on the road. And they've had to climb back, trailing by 18 in this game.
The numbers really revealing itself offensively. Just a different team when they're in Hinkle Fieldhouse.
Martin's got 8 points in the half, 17 in the game. Thompson, shot clock down to 6. Jorgensen for 3. It's long. And a rebound for Marshall. Bluiett picked up right away by Thompson. You can see Thompson had that hand out, didn't want to give up a 3.
Someone's got to come dig.
Cantor fading away, stays perfect, 8 for 8.
At this point, the decision's pretty simple. You got to come either get it out of his hands and at the very least make him uncomfortable. He's in a great rhythm down there. Cantor, hot.
Weidman against Cantor. Weidman just trying to muscle through, and he does. I guess they're thinking, you know what? Maybe we'll get him into foul trouble.
I don't even know if you'd call that an up and under. I'd call that an up and through.
Gates for 3, short. Rebounds up ahead. Here's Martin. Little hesitation, spin move, and a foul on the floor. No bucket. The foul's against Kaiser Gates. 4-point game. Tyler Weidman. Might not be pretty. It's effective. Get out of my way. Saturday on Fox, it's a Big East doubleheader. Top-ranked Villanova battles Butler, and 5th-ranked Xavier clashes with Creighton. It all starts at 11:30 Eastern on Fox, or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Of course, Butler, the only team to beat Villanova this year, and defense wasn't the hot topic in that first meeting.
It was like the Super Bowl. Defense was optional. Well, boy, both teams lit it up from beyond the arc. It's amazing to think that Butler's won 3 games in a row against Villanova. So you'd have to think that Jay Wright and Jalen Brunson, revenge is going to be on their minds in Philly.
Keelan Martin here against Marshall for 3. Front rims it. The rebound for Quentin Gooden. Up ahead for Marshall. Marshall puts it in off the glass. What a catch. Jorgensen closing in. Keelan Martin going for the block.
Marshall kept it high, too. What hands. This guy's an impressive-looking athlete in person.
McDermott. Jorgensen. Shot clock at 10. And a reach and foul against Najee Marshall. First against Marshall.
Look at this catch. Catches it, keeps it high. He'd have brought that thing down. Jorgensen might have been able to get a hand on it. Good lead pass from Gooden. Impressive catch and finish from Najee Marshall.
That is the second team foul against Xavier.
Hand
now
fight
from Art Baldwin and Paul Scruggs. They'll blow the whistle. Say, knock it off. No more. No soup for you. Fowler rolling to the hoop, off the glass. The assist to Keelan Martin.
It's an area his game's really improved. Val Jordan told us a good story about Keelan Martin's dad around the Christmas break. And he really needs to work on that aspect of his game. I don't know if he'll ever get 2 assists in a game. Keelan Martin had 6 assists on Saturday. Good pass there.
Marshall for 3. Too strong. Baldwin with a rebound. 4 Xavier players back on defense. Jorgensen, McDermott for 3. Got it! 1-point game. O'Mara against Fowler. And O'Mara puts it in, so the big men remain perfect on the night. 4 for 4 for O'Mara, 8 for 8 for Karam Cantor. 3-point lead for Xavier.
I just don't get it, though. The possession before, they come with a double team and force a missed three.
Baldwin finds Fowler when O'Mara came over for the double.
And that's a play that Xavier walked over in shoot-around today. Another mental error for the Musketeers.
Scruggs. Marshall with 10 on the shot clock. He wants the pick set for him. Scruggs with 5 on the shot clock. Scruggs has to put up the shot, front rims it, and the rebound for Fowler. A chance here for Butler to take the lead. McDermott for the lead. Got it! They have not led since it was 9-8. They trailed by as many as 18, and now they lead by 2. They trailed by 10 entering the second half.
Got to go inside if you're Xavier. Try and stunt the run a little bit.
Gates, the corner 3. Baldwin with the rebound. Here come the Bulldogs. And a foul will be called here against Xavier. The foul is against Scruggs. That's his second and the team's third.
Well, how about Sean McDermott? Jorgensen getting downhill, attracting Paul Scruggs, and McDermott knocking down his second 3. Perimeter jump shooting off the bench. A huge plus for Butler.
Shot clock at 10. Thompson puts it on the floor, off the glass, doesn't draw iron. The rebound for Scruggs. Anyway, Thompson going for the steal. He gets called for the foul. That will lead us to a break, but what a comeback here by the Bulldogs to take a 2-point lead. FS1 College Hoops is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee here at Hinkle Fieldhouse. They say there's some magic here. Well, the Butler Bulldogs, who trailed by 18, now lead by 2 thanks to the M&M boys, Martin and McDermott.
Knocking down 3. Started with the mental error, giving Martin an easy one to get his rhythm going. And when you got your rhythm going, you can rock guys back and knock them down. How about Sean McDermott off the bench, knocking down 2 straight 3s, and then this one had the Hinkle Fieldhouse fans rocking to take the lead. And McDermott's a glue guy. He does all the little things, and the fact that he can shoot it is a huge bonus.
You see what those guys have done in the second half. But how about McDermott? 3 straight games, double figures off the bench. His last 3 games, he's now 8 of 10 from three-point land. And Butler this half, 4 of 7 from three-point land. Xavier 0 for 4.
If you're Xavier, you go back to what's been working, and that's Cantor in the post.
Here's Cantor outside for 3. That's his first miss of the night. McCura and Bluiett are back in here for Xavier. It's Keelan Martin against Gates. Martin able to get the ball back. Badly to the hoop, pulls up, puts it in. 4-point lead for Butler.
How about the bench? I mean, we talk about McDermott, Badly coming in, being confident. Good aggressive move to the middle of the floor.
Trevon Bluiett for 3. Got it. Got a little bit of space. That's all he needed. First points of the second half for Trevon Bluiett. Those are his first points in, 20-some-odd minutes.
Yeah, had the 2 quick ones early and then been quiet. Got a little bit of a rub screen to free himself up.
And now Kaiser Gates, that'll be a holding call, 5-yard penalty.
Look at Badley, a little hard jab, get to the middle of the floor, 2-foot jump stop, under control, a good athlete that can elevate. And then look at the little rub screen from Gates. Just going to get a piece of Baldwin and McDermott, not able to close the airspace, and Bluiett just needs an inch. And maybe that'll get Bluiett going, because the top guns, Makira has been really quiet. He's got to make an impact in this game, and obviously Bluiett does as well.
That last foul against Gates was his 3rd. He goes out. Marshall's back in. 14 fouls against Xavier. 3 team fouls against Butler. Thompson comes back in. Badley. Good jump stop. Able to finish again in the paint. That's where he wants to take his shots. And again, more bench scoring here for Butler.
It's huge, isn't it? You need contributions across the board to beat a top 5 team.
Cantor against Fowler, and Fowler reaches down. That'll be a foul against him, his 3rd.
So Henry Badley, a little bit of a same thing, little rub screen. Makira gets overextended. Another great 2-foot jump stop. When you land on 2, you have options, Justin. Villanova does that better than anybody. Opportunity to score.
Weidman back in for Fowler. Weidman's got 2 fouls. Fowler's got 3. Thompson on Bluiett. And a foul away from the ball. And this is going to go against Weidman, so there's the 3rd foul against Weidman, team's 5th.
One thing you think about for Xavier right now is they're reeling a little bit defensively. They always have in that back pocket the 1-3-1 zone that even just for a few possessions can get a team out of rhythm a little bit when they need it. So the 1-3-1 could be important here in this final 10 minutes.
Makira always plays the top of that 1-3-1, gets his man up. Baldwin comes down, making sure Makira can't get a shot off. And this will be a 2-shot foul for Makira, the 3rd foul against Baldwin. And now right shoulder. Makira to be doing the damage, but it's Cantor and O'Mara who've been doing the damage offensively for the Xavier Musketeers. Just 1 miss from the floor for the 2 big men.
So it's pretty clear you don't want to ditch the guys, your 2 studs that have gotten you to this point, and Makira and Bluiett. But what's working right now is playing through the post. You have to keep on going inside to Cantor and Sean O'Mara.
56-55. Butler leading by 1 here with 9:45 to go. Baldwin going at Scruggs. They wave that one off. They say it's on the floor. 3rd foul against Scruggs. 15th foul. And back in is Quentin Gooden for Scruggs.
So look at all this space. You got Martin in the corner, so look at all the real estate for Baldwin to drive. Marshall not even thinking about being in the help gap or coming over to give any assistance. So Martin manipulating the defense.
Keelan Martin for 3, falling away, knocks it down. 20 points on the night now for Keelan Martin. Cantor against Weidman. And that's a foul against Weidman. And that will be number 4 against Tyler Weidman.
Again, I'm going to be a broken record. I'm just not sure why there isn't some sort of double or dig coming in the post. You know, LaVall Jordan's had a plan, told me yesterday he wanted to play one-on-one in the post. But oftentimes, there's always that difficult decision as a coach, Justin. Where do you draw the line on making an adjustment and sticking with what you wanted to do?
Well, let me ask you this question. As Cantor knocks down the free throw, Fowler comes back in. We showed that graphic. It's Cantor and O'Mara doing the damage. Bluiett and Makira have been kept in check. So is it LaVall Jordan saying, you know what, I'm going to take my chances and see if those 2 big men will continue doing this as opposed to letting Bluiett and Makira go off?
It's a great point, Justin, and that is certainly an aspect of the plan. And jumping to this point, Butler has the lead.
Martin.
Well, have a night, Keelan Martin.
23 for the Big East Conference leading scorer. Bluiett trying to answer. He does.
Trevon Bluiett, 3.
And a timeout taken here by Xavier. 62-59. Keelan Martin heating up in the second half.
Look at you're going to see two displays of great footwork and a quick release. Keelan Martin off the screen, and then here's another one. This is his shot. He loves to rock you back and into his rhythm for the long-range triple. He has been feeling it, and he's feeling himself with the tongue out right now. And to the point that we were talking about the double and not double, you can double and still stay attached to Bluiett and Makira. You just have to know who you're coming off of and who you're leaving. And so you have guys in Gooden and Najee Marshall and Paul Scruggs aren't great shooters. So there are ways you can disrupt the rhythm in the post and still not leave the studs in Makira and Bluiett.
Keelan Martin just moved into 6th all-time for Butler, scoring 1,801 points. As he has 23 in the game, 5 of 8 from three-point land.
He's been awesome.
Baldwin. Martin tells McDermott, no, get away, I don't need it. Fowler comes up and sets it. Shot clock down to 9. McDermott against Bluiett. Fowler sets a huge screen on him. Baldwin, his three comes up short. Gooden against Baldwin. To the hoop, puts it in. Good move by Quentin Gooden against one of the better defenders, not just in the conference, but in the country.
Gooden's been quiet as well. That was a confident, strong move from the sophomore.
Martin tries to split the double team, and we've got a foul here against Xavier. It'll be against Karam Cantor. And that, for Cantor, is number 2. But how about Gooden? Strong to the hoop, making it a one-point game. Here at Hinkle Fieldhouse, the Bulldogs are a 12-1 lead by 1 over the Xavier Musketeers. Let's go inside the huddle with LaVall Jordan.
We got our minds like the smart take from the score. You got to have your minds down there. We got to talk like crazy, and then they can only get one shot. Right? We got to get them off. And down here, keep it tight.
Talk about staying engaged mentally, defensively right now, and talking screens, communicating things early. That's where oftentimes it's so much early and opening your mouth and talking.
And I thought he said brought up a good point as far as offensive rebounds. Allow just one shot. They've only given up one offensive rebound in the entire game. Now on the other side, Xavier's only given up 2.
Both teams have done a good job putting bodies on guys and cleaning up the defensive glass.
Jorgensen's back in there. Shot clock at 8. Martin, spin move out of control, but he gets fouled. O'Mara got to watch out. He's close to getting a technical foul right there as he, in frustration, kind of waved his arm. That's his second foul against O'Mara. It's a 17 foul, so Martin will go to the free throw line for 1-on-1, but he was very close to getting teed up.
Yeah, tough. It was close. There's a lot of black jerseys around Martin as he goes to the deck. And you got to be careful if you're Sean O'Mara.
Martin now 3 for 3 at the line, 24 points. Aaron Thompson comes back in for McDermott.
I've just been so impressed with Keelan Martin offensively. He's done a good job of coming off these ball screens, putting the defense in a tough spot. And his aggressiveness now has Butler in the bonus the rest of the way, which is an important aspect of this game. The free throw line was something LaVall Jordan was really concerned about. And right now, Xavier only has 6 points at the free throw line. They're second in the country in free throws made.
Bluiett finding O'Mara against Fowler. O'Mara off the glass. Just a good move by Sean O'Mara.
It was that play that Xavier ran in the Sweet 16 to win the game, to get to the Elite 8. Little high-low, Bluiett O'Mara. That's a pet play of theirs.
12 points for O'Mara. Thompson left open. They want to dare him to shoot. Jorgensen, bounce pass for Fowler. Fowler off the glass. 8 points for Nate Fowler. Good pass by Jorgensen.
Boy, the Butler Cards have done a good job driving with their eyes up to pass.
LaCura trying to get it to O'Mara again.
There goes Keelan Martin, a little dig off Najee.
Bluiett kicks out that leg, and he gets the call. The foul is against Thompson. It'll be a 3-shot foul here for Trevon Bluiett. That's the 4th foul against Aaron Thompson. It's the 8th team foul, but it's 3 shots here for Bluiett.
Look at the leg kick out as he takes it. He's going to kick that right leg a little bit, so there's contact.
I thought that wasn't supposed to be called a foul anymore.
Yeah, I'm not a. There's certainly a point of emphasis to try and take away where you have unnatural shooting motions from the offensive player, where you're just jumping into guys, kicking out your legs.
Frankly, I thought it was actually supposed to be called an offensive foul.
Yeah. It's tough because, again, these are split-second decisions, and whenever there's contact and it looks like a foul, they're going to blow the whistle. Bluiett's done a good job of that.
Bluiett now with this free throw would tie the game at 66. He does just that. All tied up with 6:40 to go here at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Buckle up. Justin Kutcher alongside Nick Baugh here on FS1 for this Big East showdown between the 5th-ranked Xavier Musketeers and the Butler Bulldogs. And a foul against Najee Marshall, an armbar foul. Second foul against Marshall, 8th team foul, so 1-1 here for Keelan Martin, and maybe this comes down to a free throw competition.
Yeah, and both teams can really shoot free throws. This was nothing complicated, just a little ISO for Keelan Martin, and Marshall got a little too physical.
Our Jeep Grand Cherokee stat of the game. We talk about how free throws could be big down the stretch. Both teams very good at the free throw line.
And they make you pay when you make a mistake. So it's going to be important for the defensive players to play defense, understanding that, not put guys at the line.
2-point lead for Butler. Three losses on the season for Xavier. Bluiett for the lead. No. Gates the offensive rebound. Gets fouled by McDermott, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Just the second offensive rebound of the game. And oftentimes this is where you foul a lot, when you give up offensive rebounds. Something LaVall Jordan was talking to us about that really hurt him in the first matchup against Xavier. Yeah, we fouled him a ton when they were grabbing offensive boards.
Brad Underwood, the head coach of Illinois, said the other day to me, he said, offensive rebounds allow you to get to the bench. And he said because of that exact reason. You get the offensive rebound, there's a scramble, guys get frustrated, they commit a foul, and next thing you know, you're shooting free throws and you're getting into the depth of the team's bench.
It's a really good point from Coach Underwood. And it's been something that Butler's done a good job of here tonight up until that last possession. Sometimes you start to think he just takes one offensive rebound and all of a sudden he can get a bunch.
Martin for three, comes up short this time, and the rebound by Bluiett, and there's a foul against McDermott. He thought maybe he had tied him up. Instead, that's the 10th team foul, and this is a 2-shot foul now for Trevon Bluiett.
Another mental error. And there's so many times that often in games it comes down to not making mistakes. Just McDermott, you don't need it. You're 93 feet away from the hoop. You're guarding Trevon Bluiett. You're in the bonus. Live to see another day. Get back. Set your defense.
And now a chance for Xavier to have their first lead since 50-49, and there it is, 69-68. That was with 13:31 to go here in the second half. They led by 10 at the half. Bluiett knocks them both down. Trevon Bluiett, this has been a quiet 17 points for him.
He's had to earn them, right?
Baldwin
Go to work, 3-0. Go to work, baby.
Fowler rolling to the hoop, has it blocked by O'Mara. Good defense by Sean O'Mara. Gooden. He has a shot altered. Marshall gets fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line. So just like that, a couple of offensive rebounds lead to free throws. The foul is against Fowler. That's his fourth. Weidman's up off the bench.
Look at O'Mara recovering. He actually leads Xavier in block shots. Got a piece of it enough, and then Gooden's able to drive to the basket, which creates the rotation rebound. Someone has to come help to contest Gooden, so Marshall gets a free run at the rim.
A 72% free throw shooter knocks down the first. Tyler Weidman comes back in. Weidman's got 4, Fowler's got 4. And it's a 3-point lead here for Xavier with 5:12 to go. Momentum has shifted once again in this game. Now a 4-point lead.
Boy, what a display of poise. Because this crowd was rocking. Xavier let a big lead slip, but now they've fought back, and they're on top.
They led by as many as 18. Now they lead by 4. McDermott, kick out, Jorgensen. Weidman can't handle the pass. It was a great look by Jorgensen.
Great feel play. Just was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. And now you'd rather see Jorgensen throw that one up to the rim. It's a little softer. It's easier to identify instead of a bullet pass to the chest. Lob that one up to the 10. Let Weidman go up and grab it.
Can Butler come up with a stop, or does Xavier extend their lead? Marshall, this one's coming right for us. And it's a turnover by the Musketeers. So Butler gets the stop they needed. And McDermott will come back in for Aaron Thompson. Offense, defense, defense, offense substitutions here for Butler.
And Keelan Martin's been your guy, where Laval Jordan's got to dial up a set to try and get him a look or an opportunity to drive.
Here is Martin, guarded by Marshall. Weidman sets the screen for him. Jorgensen hanging, puts up the shot, no. Rebound here for Butler. A rare offensive rebound. Keelan Martin, crossover, hanging, puts it in.
The hedge was just a little tardy, which allows you to split the defenders. What a play from Martin.
29 for Keelan Martin, 2-point game. Bluiett, short, rebound by Weidman. Weidman running the floor, misses. O'Mara with a rebound. Quentin Gooden will slow things down here for Xavier. Xavier has not put one in from the floor in over 4 minutes. All their points have come at the free throw line. Shot clock at 10.
Great defense from Butler.
Shot clock at 3. Marshall to the hoop, gets fouled, and the bucket. Jorgensen was late. Marshall puts it in, and he's got a chance for a 3-point play.
Martin splits the ball screen and gets a tough one in traffic to go off the window. And then on the other end, a double team comes. No one rotates over, and Najee Marshall with a chance for 3. We got a good finish on deck.
It's Big Game Saturday on Fox with a double dose of college hoops. Featuring the best of the Big East. First, top-ranked Villanova look to take a bite out of the Bulldogs. Then, Trevon Bluiett and 5th-ranked Xavier bring the battle to the Blue Jays. Big game Saturday. It all started.
The Big East Tournament at Madison Square Garden. Get tickets now.
There's Jalen Lindsey. Time to get loose. Seeing the Providence Friars welcome in the Georgetown Hoyas. The team that's been struggling, loses 3 in a row. That's coming up next right here on FS1. But we got a good one in Indy between Xavier and Butler. For the conclusion of that one, back to Justin and Nick.
Mike, thank you very much. A thrilling finish here, 74-70. Xavier leading the Butler Bulldogs with 3:05 to go. Xavier led by as many as 18 in the first half. Butler stormed back here in the second half to lead by as many as 6. A battle of former AAU teammates. Keelan Martin with 29 points. Trevon Bluiett has got 17. And at the free throw line, trying to convert the three-point play is Najee Marshall. Marshall, 8 points on the night, 3 of 4 from the floor, 2 of 2 at the line. Three-point play and a 5-point lead now for Xavier.
Where Keelan Martin, he's going to attract a lot of attention. He's got to be ready to pass on plays like this.
Here is Keelan Martin. Martin for 3. Got it! 6-3 of the night for the senior. 2-point ball game.
Much better ball movement there. Not a lot of standing and watching. Got a little weave.
O'Mara, great position. Weidman's got 4. Now he's got 5.
Foul on the Bulldogs score. Tyler Weidman is good.
Tyler Weidman has just fouled out. O'Mara to the free throw line. Our game reset is sponsored by SoFi, rethinking personal finance. Possession arrow for Butler, but the Musketeers in a double bonus. Weidman now has fouled out. Nate Fowler comes back in. He's got 4 fouls. It's been the big men, O'Mara and Karam Cantor, who have done the damage throughout the entire game for Xavier. O'Mara knocks down the first free throw. He's now 3 of 4 at the line.
You understand where the ball is going to go. It's likely to go down low, especially understanding the foul situation with Fowler. And the big men for Xavier have been fantastic. I love what Butler did on the last possession. Better ball movement. And just stand and watch Keelan Martin.
Baldwin nearly dragged the pivot foot. Keelan Martin hanging off the side of the backboard. O'Mara. That's one of those where Keelan felt like he was forcing it. It looked like he was forcing it.
That was great defense from Najee Marshall. You're talking about a guy in Marshall, 6'7", long, moving his feet, great. Still trying to get this high-low into O'Mara.
Bluiett for 3. Big shot for Trevon Bluiett. 20 points now for the senior. And it's a 7-point lead for the 5th-ranked team. Jorgensen to answer. Bluiett with a rebound, and now a foul against Marshall. McDermott able to draw the foul, the 19th foul against Xavier, and McDermott will get a chance to shoot 1-on-1.
Well, you go that high-low look, you get people attracting down into O'Mara, and Bluiett just needs a half a step. Baldwin didn't have his hands up, and he gets it to go down. And the bench absolutely loving it.
There will be no free throws here for Butler. But now LaVall Jordan will call a timeout. So 1 timeout remaining for both Xavier and Butler. And the reason for the timeout here is very obvious. That's a turnover right there. And the reason why you want the timeout is because for Butler, You need to set up a play to get a bucket here.
A mistake from Xavier gives you a window of opportunity here. And you need to manufacture a good look, preferably for Keelan Martin. But sometimes in these situations, Justin, Martin can be a decoy or a screener to free up one of the other 4 Bulldogs. But the other scorer on the other side, Trevon Bluiett, we said at some point he needed to loom large, and he's exploded in this second half. Early in the game, he was able to get some transition triples to go down. Good find from Najee Marshall in the open floor. This guy just needs a little bit of airspace, and he's got a quick trigger. Little slip out with the 2 seniors, with Makira and Bluiett. And then obviously this one was the big one to put the Musketeers up 7. The senior Bluiett's been great.
Trevon Bluiett had 6 points in the first half, those 2 quick threes. He's got 14 here in the second half. 5 of 13. All 5 of his field goals have come from the three-point line. He's perfect at the free throw line. And his team leads right now by 7 with 1:41 to go.
This is why you watch all that film if you're a coach. You find pet plays, different looks teams like, and based on out-of-bounds looks. Keelan Martin on the left block is going to involve him in some way, shape, or form.
Against Marshall. Keelan Martin doesn't get the roll. The tip, no. O'Mara with a rebound. Gates, cross-court pass, dangerous pass there to Bluiett. And now for Xavier, you're comfortable taking some time off the clock. Shot clock to 10. O'Mara has it knocked away, a steal. Here comes Keelan Martin, 1-on-3. And Martin gets fouled. The foul will be against Trevon Bluiett. And honestly, that's not what you needed or wanted if you're Xavier.
He tried to go back to the high-low look, and high hands on the ball gets the deflection and the steal. And that's oftentimes got to disrupt the vision. So take a look at it. With the high hands, and then Fowler bats it away. And Martin intelligently just takes it right at the defender, and now is at the line.
But the foul by Trevon Bluiett as Cantor will come back in. You stop the clock. You foul one of the best free throw shooters. You allow them to put points on the board with the clock stopped, and that's the opposite of what you're looking to do.
And now LaVall Jordan can do an offense-defense sub, get Aaron Thompson in the game. And even one more with Henry Badley. You obviously got to get a stop. Now Xavier, they've loved this high-low look.
Wait, who's coming off the floor?
Someone needs to come off the floor here. McDermott. Come off the floor. Got to handle the ball here. Got one timeout left if you're Xavier. You get in a predicament.
JP Makira will come back in as he gets booed. And the foul is given there. JP Makira will go to the free throw line. They stop the clock with 1:08 to go. Makira, an 83% free throw shooter. You see how good Xavier has done in the final 2 minutes.
That's amazing.
89%.
You wonder why Xavier's been good in close games? I mean, that's a huge reason why. And big ones for the senior JP Makira.
And Makira coolly knocks down the first. O'Mara back in for Cantor. Quentin Gooden comes back in.
Sean O'Mara, 54 in for Xavier.
So if you're Butler, you don't have to get crazy here. You still got a lot of time left. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a 3, but the problem is if you keep going 2 and foul, Xavier, you saw the stat, almost 90% from the line in the final 2 minutes. At some point, you need to bang a 3, and you need to get a steal or a stop.
Baldwin, kick to the corner. McDermott for 3. Good look, puts it in. 4th 3 of the game for McDermott. 4-point game, 58 seconds to go, and the timeout is taken here by Butler.
How do you step off Sean McDermott? You'd much rather make Butler finish over the outstretched arms of the Musketeers at the rim, especially considering McDermott's already knocked down 3 threes and knocks down his 4th, but that's what you needed. At some point you're going to have to get a 3, and at some point here you're going to have to get a steal to be able to get back into this game. Xavier's 2 boys and too good at the free throw line. for you to think you can just extend this thing, because they're probably going to make 2 each time they're at the line.
That is the final timeout for Butler in this game. Now, of course, you have foul trouble situations, so if somebody fouls out, you get kind of a de facto timeout for Butler because you had the time to make a substitution. But if you think about it, you mentioned this Xavier team during their 5-game winning streak, 4 of their 5 games have been close. They beat St. John's by 6. They won at Seton Hall when they trailed by 10 in the second half. They beat St. John's by 5, and then they won in overtime after trailing by 4 points thanks to a 4-point play by Bluiett with 24 seconds. So they know how to win the close games.
Now you gotta be strong with the trap here, and if you're Butler, you got 10 seconds or so here to kind of see if you can't get a steal, maybe make Xavier handle the basketball a little bit.
Cantor gets it. Now it's Gooden. And do they get the turnover? They do! Butler forces the turnover. And that changes everything.
And Justin, that's why you don't lose your mind and foul right away with over 50 seconds left. You see if they'll turn one over, cough it up, and Butler now with life. Some confusion with the subs here.
Najee Marshall will come in for Kaiser Gates. So it's McDermott on the floor with Fowler, Baldwin, Martin, and Jorgensen.
Shooters everywhere, so there's not going to be a lot of help opportunities.
McDermott for 3 again. Got it! 1-point game! And a timeout taken by Xavier.
How about Butler and the bench, in particular McDermott? Look how tough this shot is, coming all the way from the left side of your screen, getting his feet set. He's floating to his right, and he just buries it for his 5th triple. Another look at it. It's a really hard shot, but the important thing is getting your shoulders square. Even if you're moving, as long as your shoulders are square, you can get it to go down. And the mistake from Xavier opens the door a little bit, and here comes Sean McDermott.
He has tied a career high with 17 points, 5 of 6 from three-point land, and he has hit those 2 threes in the last 15 seconds to make this a 1-point game.
Well, and now, if you're Butler, you don't need to press. You saw LaVall Jordan going crazy, telling his guys to get back. You've got it now to a 1-possession game. You see the difference in the shot clock, game clock. You just go defend now. You understand what's been working. Xavier throwing the ball into the post, and Bluiett been the guy entering it, so there's a tough predicament defensively that you're in.
No timeouts remaining for either team. LaVall Jordan has put in his defensive stoppers in Thompson, Badley to go along with Baldwin.
There's a situation where Chris Mack sometimes likes a big ball screen with Bluiett and a ball screen from Cantor.
It's Gooden on the floor, McCura, Marshall, Cantor, and Bluiett. Here comes Cantor, setting the screen for Gooden. Cantor, pull up, got it! Karam Cantor's been so big, 3-point lead, under 20, no timeouts. Keelan Martin, kick out, Baldwin for the tie, got it! 11 seconds, no timeouts. Gooden leaves it back for Cantor to go ahead, comes up short. Martin, this is good if it goes off the backboard. We're going to overtime.
You want 5 more minutes, partner?
Wow, what a game here at Hinkle Fieldhouse.
been so good, I don't want it to end.
Guess what? It's not.
It's not. We got 5 more minutes. Pretty good execution on both ends of the floor. First of all, you get the pick and pop. Cantor, one dribble, a tough contested jumper. It's been his night, and he hits the huge one. And then a mistake from Gooden, knowing that you're down, you're up 3. The one thing that you can't give up is a 3, and you step off of Baldwin, and he buries the triple. So there have been a handful of mental errors from Xavier.
Both teams are undefeated this year in overtime. Xavier 1-0, Butler is 2-0. Overtime is sponsored. We came on the air saying this is one of those games that you circle on the schedule. And then all of a sudden it was a 25-2 run by Xavier in the first half. And we're thinking, well, all of a sudden, Butler made the comeback. Xavier answered with a counterpunch. And now it's another counterpunch by Butler to tie it up and force overtime.
Yeah, both teams have shown an enormous amount of toughness. Butler to crawl back into it. Xavier to be able to wipe the taste out of their mouth from allowing a big lead to slip away. But how about Butler's poise at the end? Now, oftentimes, there takes a little help from the opposition. Xavier, with 2 or 3 big mental errors in the final 2 minutes, allow for this overtime to happen.
A turnover against the press with about 52 seconds to go.
Najee Marshall fouling Sean McDermott on a rebound to keep Butler with the possession, and then you have Gooden stepping off Kamar Baldwin when they have a 3-point lead and giving up a long-range jump shot. But you know what? You got to wipe all that away. You got a 5-minute game.
Sometimes easier said than done. As far as foul trouble here in overtime, Nate Fowler has 4, Aaron Thompson has 4 for Butler. Nobody with 4 for Xavier. Karam Cantor to jump center again. And Fowler jumps a bit too early. And wins the tip, 9 of 11, 20 points.
You got to go right back to Cantor if you're Xavier. Here comes a little diagonal pick. Try and get him in the post.
Fowler with those 4 fouls. Najee Marshall for 3. He's got it. Najee Marshall, the freshman, just a 35% shooter from 3, knocks down the first bucket here in overtime.
How about Cantor just surveying and inviting the double team to come and being a willing passer, even though he's been red hot.
Jorgensen working the weave. Thompson to Baldwin. Baldwin with the right off the glass, puts it in.
Good movement side to side, and the more you move it, the more opportunities for driving lanes. And so when the ball went into Cantor, Martin came off Marshall. See what Butler will want to do in this overtime in terms of helping in the post.
Gooden kicks it back to Cantor, steps into one, it's an air ball. That's out of bounds. It will be Butler ball. Just the 3rd miss of the game for Karam Cantor.
You see Martin just kind of caught in the middle of the lane, trying to make things uncomfortable. And Marshall gets the easy triple to go down. And so if you're Butler, I'd go right back to some good side-to-side ball movement to create some driving opportunities.
The weave has been effective for them to initiate the offense. Thompson deflected out of bounds. Will stay Butler ball with 11 on the shot clock. Here comes McDermott in. Thompson goes out.
Yeah, because whoever's guarding Aaron Thompson can have 2 feet in the lane, really plugging things up. But with McDermott, he's knocked down 5 threes. There's going to be more room to operate. 11 on the clock now.
Handoff here for Baldwin. 6 on the shot clock. Goes up top for Fowler. Puts it in.
And that's all made because McDermott's on the floor. His presence leaves the basket vacant, so great sub from LaVall Jordan results in a layup for Nate Fowler.
1-point lead for the Bulldogs coming up on 3 minutes to go here in overtime. Again into Cantor. Fowler with the 4 fouls. Cantor with the right puts it in. Cantor now with 22. His single game high this year is 24 at Providence back on January 6th.
And just amazing pace. He plays so under control in the post.
Gooden was holding Martin, no whistle. Baldwin with the right, the floater, no. Marshall with the rebound, good box out of Fowler. What a game.
You got options here. Bluiett obviously is always a viable one, but Cantor's been the hot hand.
Cantor for three. Comes up short. You can see he was a bit hesitant on that.
All right, not the shot you want.
Keelan Martin the pull-up for three. And a rebound for Gooden. Keelan Martin has 34 points on the night. He felt it right there, was looking for 37.
It's a shot he can make. He likes those rhythm step-in three-pointers.
Again to Cantor. Shot clock at 10.
Come disrupted a little bit if you're a Bulldog.
Another miss, a good rebound there by McDermott. Again, a chance for Butler to take the lead. Lavelle Jordan calls out the play. Baldwin tries to wrap the pass around to Fowler, and Fowler just fouled out. He fouls Trevon Bluiett, who will go to the free throw line for two. And now both big men have fouled out here for Butler.
A great weak side rotation from Trevon Bluiett. Going to come underneath and help out the roll. Get the steal. Now he's going to go to the line, and Fowler will go to the bench, who's been having to guard Cantor and Weidman on the bench. But here comes Joey Brunk, another big body that Butler has. So although he's cold, he still is 6'11", and you sometimes just need a bit of mass to stand in between Cantor and the basket.
And the fans rose to their feet when they saw Brunk stand up off the bench. Trevon Bluiett remains perfect at the line.
Nevertheless, it's hard to sit for 44 minutes and come in and be asked to play in crunch time here.
Bluiett to give Xavier a three-point lead. Comes up short. The rebound is tipped out by O'Mara to Bluiett. O'Mara had just checked in for Cantor. Comes up with the offensive tip.
That's why you can't let up and always block out. Can't assume, even with a guy like Bluiett, that he's going to make the free throw.
Bluiett, the pull-up jumper. He's got it. He knew he had it. 4-point lead for Xavier, under a minute to go. Baldwin. Got fouled by Clinton Gooden, and Baldwin will go to the free throw line for two.
A big sequence on the other end. I mean, to get the tip out off the missed free throw, and then Bluiett to get a jumper. Huge play. So O'Mara is just going to wedge in there. It's short, and he just tips it out. And then Xavier's able to free up Bluiett for a jump shot.
Baldwin gets the first free throw to go. Aaron Thompson will come in. Thompson's coming in for McDermott. Kaiser Gates replaces Paul Scruggs for Xavier.
We got all ball handlers on the floor for Xavier now. And that Butler might come with some pressure here.
Makura also in. Baldwin knocks them both down. And now Henry Badley will check in. Joey Brunk goes to the bench. So a very small lineup for both teams.
Your bigs have been working for you. This is an interesting decision from Chris Mack here, because Butler doesn't necessarily have to come with pressure. They can defend this possession out. So you'd imagine it'll be Bluiett as the guy.
Makura picked up by Baldwin. Gooden picks up the dribble. Shot clock to 10. Bluiett wants it against Jorgensen. Gooden finds Bluiett for a deep three. He hits it again! 5-point lead. Baldwin to the hoop. Can't put it in. Badly referees follow? No, but he gets fouled. The foul goes against Najee Marshall. That's the 4th against Marshall. 2 free throws coming here for Badley.
And sometimes your studs got to be studs in order to win on the road. And what a bomb from downtown Indy from Trevon Bluiett. Butler did everything right, but that man right there with just a massive triple.
He's got 26, 6 of 9 from three-point land. At the free throw line is Badley. Misses the first free throw. That's just his 3rd miss at the line this year. He's now 22 of 25 at the free throw line. Last year he was 4 of 9. So you're wondering in this crunch time, do the old habits come through?
He just doesn't get there a lot. So you're not comfortable. But now, if Butler doesn't have a bunch of time to work with here, they're going to have to set a press and foul right away.
Misses. Marshall gets fouled. And this foul is called against Kamar Baldwin. That's number 4 against Baldwin.
It's amazing how in a game like this it comes down to a couple of plays. The O'Mara offensive rebound tip out might have been the play that turned the tide for Xavier in this overtime.
Marshall at the line. 3 of 3 there tonight. 12 points. We'll get you out to Georgetown, Providence as soon as this game is over. Dave Sims, Donnie Marshall with a call of that one. We've got 14.9 seconds to go in overtime. It's a 5-point lead for Xavier right now. The Musketeers trying to move to 22-3 on the season and win 6 in a row. Marshall 1 of 2. And now a timeout taken here by Xavier. Their 1 timeout in overtime. With this timeout, we'll take a quick break as well. 6-point lead for the Musketeers here in OT. For the 5th-ranked Musketeers leading the Butler Bulldogs here in overtime. Xavier called the timeout, want to go over their defense to set up against Butler. Now remember, it was a 7-point lead with 1:08 to go in regulation for Xavier. And Butler was able to come back and tie the game up, but this is a more difficult task right now for the Bulldogs.
And I think Chris Mack feels like the timeout being used to set the defense is more important than having a timeout to use if you get tied up in sort of a trap. And so some last-minute instructions, I'd imagine they'll go small and switch everything and just press out onto the 3-point line. Because right now what gets you beat is a long-range jump shot. So you want to communicate those switches crisply and contest and rebound if you're Xavier.
As far as 3-point shooters are concerned, for Butler, you're looking at McDermott, who's 5 of 6 in the game. Martin is 6 of 11. And Kamar Baldwin, 2 of 5. Jorgensen can shoot the 3. Those are the guys that you would think would be taking a 3 for Butler.
And because Lavelle Jordan probably understands that Butler's going to be, or Xavier's going to be switching everything, I don't know if you need to come with any sort of ball screen or anything like that. Might be in your best interest to just give that guy some room, see if he can't get someone to rock back and knock back a triple in Keelan Martin. But Sean McDermott also has knocked down 5 threes as well. So you got a handful of guys that have had a hot hand here in this second half.
It's going to be Keelan Martin on the floor with Baldwin, McDermott, Jorgensen, and Badley for Butler. Marshall, Gooden, Gates, Scruggs, and Bluiett for Xavier.
I like this. Chris Mack just making things hard. See if you can't chew 2 or 3 seconds off the clock as they're trying to fight this pressure to get down the floor. Because time is certainly of the essence.
Keelan Martin to inbound.
Baldwin's going to want to get to his left hand, so if I'm Xavier, I'm keeping Baldwin on the right side of the floor.
Here comes Baldwin. Baldwin pulls up, nope, gives it off to Martin for three. In and out, and a rebound for Marshall. A foul by McDermott, and that should do it with 6.8 to go.
Got the look they wanted, a clean one from a guy who's been hot. Didn't have it. Another three for the Bulldogs.
This is a big-time win for the fifth-ranked team. Again, don't forget, coming up, Georgetown against Providence is coming up next. But the reason why this is a big game right now is if you look at Xavier, what they have coming up Saturday at Creighton, that game is on Fox. Next Wednesday against Seton Hall. Next Saturday against Villanova. How about that stretch?
It's Murderer's Row of the Big East, but what a performance from Xavier in a tough environment to win in overtime.
Baldwin hits the three with 2.6 seconds to go, makes it a 5-point game. But that will do it. 98-93 in overtime. Xavier moves to 22-3. Providence against Georgetown. Here's Dave Sims and Donnie Marshall with the call.
Georgetown's going